I'll say it. I believe in the myth of spot reduction. Oh, he's at it again, Dr. Singh. This idiot's priceless. There are two meanings of myth. One, a falsely held general belief or idea, and two, a traditional story to explain a natural phenomenon. Myth-busting science says you can't reduce the body fat in one spot by working the muscles of that spot. Hence, the false idea, and one that appears in any top 10 myths of health and fitness. So when the professional says, well, spot reduction is a myth, that's code for, you fool, hoodwinked into believing that load of claptrap. One born every minute. But 30 years ago, if you wanted your stomach to look better, you trained it. Because a story is told by people that when they train their core hard, they notice that the waist measurement and the overall size reduce. Think Santa for a second. One, there's no guy in a red suit. It's a false idea. Two, it's a nice story to explain how presents do end up under the tree. Today, that thinking's as old as them Duke boys. The new Dukes say core exercises are for core strength, endurance, and virtue? And get six-pack abs through diet. So why does this matter? If you believe spot reduction's false, then ipso facto, core training doesn't improve the look of your abs. So best case, it's a necessary evil for your health, like Brussels sprouts, and worst case, you skip it. You're told abs are made in the kitchen, so to look good, restrict and deny. And if you cheat the diet, it's so easy to binge, derail the progress, awaken the cravings and whatever, you feel guilty afterwards. If you believe in spot reduction, you'll do daily core because you believe it makes your abs look better. You think it's causing your results, so you do more core, which is good for you. As the core's built predominantly for endurance, it's very hard to overdo it. And missing it one day only has the positive effect of resting the muscles for a few hours longer, so no guilt. So how did they make the myth a reality 30 years ago? Heresy. 1. Dysfunction. The musculature of the abdominal region deconditions and worse than that deactivates neurally really quickly due to lifestyle, diet, gut intolerances, illness, periods and surgery. The muscles lose tonus, lengthen and appear distended. Reactivating the muscles, especially the low ab, TVA and internal obliques, increases tonus, shortens it and gives it a flatter appearance. Physios have the same issues trying to jump-start muscles that have turned off in the hips and shoulders from imbalance or injury. They have to be resuscitated through daily practice to re-innovate the neural connection. If the wall doesn't bow out anymore, the circumference and general size reduces, a natural phenomenon that you would believe was spot reduction. 2. Form follows function. The way it looks follows what you do with it. With a daily regime of ab work, people tend to get adventurous. To stave off boredom, people will try different ranges of movement, positions, resistance, holds. All of these further improve the coordination and neural innovation to the core, providing the greatest possible stimuli for a visual change. You do the daily workouts because you believe in spot reduction. 3. Aerobic training. A 20 to 30 minute ab workout, fairly continuously, is an aerobic activity like going for a run for 20 to 30 minutes with your abs. It's a continual postural requirement to resist forces. With an even 2-second up and down pace, you get through 300 to 450 sit-ups in that time. Over a few months, your waist would get slimmer because you're burning fat as a fuel for your low intensity activity that you recently started. You lose fat all over, but you're only looking at the effect on your stomach. And you do it because you believe in spot reduction. 4. Possible spot reduction itself. Ramp that up in the mid-80s onwards when 1,000 sit-ups a day was a craze. That's 40 minutes to an hour's worth of continual exercise. You need a large variety of movements ranging from low intensity to high intensity to fill up the 1,000 requirement. Recent scientific studies have shown that this high blood flow to an area and alternating high and low intensity for a prolonged period of time would cause some minimal spot reduction. Science aside, it worked for the people who did it, and they did it because they believed in spot reduction. People believed in spot reduction, and so they did the work, and that resulted in a reduction in circumference, unsightliness, and dissatisfaction. And 2 out of the 4 mechanisms results in a reduction in body fat, and 1 is a spot reduction of sorts. And whilst today's tech allows us to track biological markers like body fat, thinking of your stomach as nothing more than a fat store that you mustn't feed can be counterproductive. Making spot reduction all about body fat takes the power away from action and puts it in denial and makes body fat the enemy that it not always is. If you're trying to look like this, then yes, fat is bad. But if you'd be happy with this, then eat normally and train your core daily, because you'll see an improvement generally, and that is what the myth provides. And I ask you, where's the downside to being comfortable in a myth if belief in it causes you to make good decisions and feel good psychologically? What's the upside to cynically discounting the myth if it causes you to make poor decisions and sets you up for failure psychologically?
Mental doggy bag time.
Before exercise science was in fashion, people did sit-ups because they believed in the mechanism of spot reduction. And it did actually reduce their waistline, body fat, and increase their tone and the attractiveness of their midsection. Then science revealed the mechanism to be false, the practice went out of favour, and diet became the focus for losing love handles. There's more to the appearance of the stomach than just fat. And if you think that your stomach size is only affected by calorie intake because the myth says that ab workouts won't affect its appearance, then you'll be missing out on the other benefits, physically and psychologically, of daily core training. And arguably, the best abs in recent history have belonged to boxers, gymnasts, 60 to 400 meter sprinters, and people whose livelihoods depend on the look of their abs. And these guys all have one thing in common: daily ab training, not the same diet. Spot reduction may be a myth, but it's a good and useful myth, and one I think is worth believing in. Okay, so if you still want to burn me at the stake as a heretic, then hey, flame on. But if you get what I'm saying, soak me with a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed the ride, please subscribe. Woo! Woo!